looking at this and da 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 da. I talked to my neighbor and they said you were great, so give me a call. And basically, what I do is I get all the information I'll need to quote the home. Like if I can't look it up on the dial for Deschutes County property assessor website, I'll go and I'll be like, okay, wood stove year built, all that kind of stuff. I take the info down and I let them know that there's a very good chance that anybody who's in the greater Sisters area, I'm going to have to come out and take photos. So I usually schedule time for me to go then take photos as well. I got to hey, let's maybe look at auto insurance. You're a homeowner. Have you ever heard of umbrella? Do you know what that is? Here's the reason why you want that. And so I usually try to do the use the defensible space photos as an opportunity to sit down and talk about the quote and what we're doing and all that kind of stuff and see if we can't get something going right there. And then once we're through underwriting, just kind of go back and forth. But I've had some folks with a lot of tree related issues, defensible space related issues, where either something's got to come down or something they're like, oh yeah, I don't want to cut that tree down, maybe I'm going to go look somewhere else, and I'll just wait a couple weeks, and I have a feeling they'll probably come back to me and be like, okay, it's time to take the tree down because nobody else wants to ride out here either. So that's kind of what the process has been so far.
Yeah, good. So you're in combination with current clients, right? Mm-hmm. And also new opportunities. Mm-hmm. So that's amazing. That's and great.
I've been setting up a lot of cars too because of it.
Awesome. So just bring us up to date, any feedback from underwriting on more, have you seen them tighten the screws on the wildfire score, or are we still staying consistent with kind of what we had the lay of the land previous to this fire?
They're actually staying pretty similar to what they were prior. Like they never issued a moratorium. It was always still just active, you could write in there, but for me, since day one, it has been a very intensive underwriting process. Basically, anytime I do home insurance, it's go in, send the photos, probably one or two write-backs or more, talking about, hey, this tree has to come down. And then do that kind of back and forth thing with them. Or I've been getting a lot with, like I had a client who had a studio office attached to his garage. Like it was just an office, but it had some kitchen appliances. Like there was a microwave and an oven in there, and they're like, oh, this looks like it's finished living space. And I'm like, really? It's an office. There's no shower. There's no bathroom. There's nothing you could do to make it livable. And it's all these kind of things. They seem to be going over pretty much everything with a fine-toothed comb. But I'm actually using that as a kind of something with the client saying, hey, this is the reason why country's staying out here. Like your neighbor, when Farmers is pulling it, they're like, Farmers has never come out and taken pictures of the home. And I'm like, and that's the reason why they're non-renewing you. Like we're actually going through this process. And by building it up and building up that level of detail and that level of like attention and care for the clients, I think it helps build a much stronger image of the company in their minds. Because of like, oh, this is a company that actually cares. We're not numbers.
Yeah, no, that's good. So I guess for all of you on the call, like Jeremy's the expert. If you have any questions on wildfire,
if you're writing in high wildfire things, I highly recommend going to the hardware store for like $20 and picking up a 100-foot tape measure. So when they're saying, hey, this wood pile needs to be 30 feet away from the house, and I'm like, it is 30 feet. And they're like, yeah, no, it doesn't look like it's 30 feet. And then I go and I drive out there and I put the tape measure, and I'm like, no, it's 30 feet. Check the tape.
Wow. Funny.
Yeah, so for $20, if you're writing a lot of high wildfire stuff, it's a good investment to go pick one of those up. And I just keep it in my car.
Very cool. Very good. All right. Well, so Jeremy, I'm assuming that's like your success for the past few weeks of, surviving the stress of that whole thing happening, right? And people calling and trying to, running the zip code and calling all your clients and, reassuring them. That's all, we can't specifically measure like how many people you've saved as clients because of that, but I guarantee that they felt just what you said, that they weren't just another number, like you actually cared. I know several of our agents did that, and that's because that's who we are, is we don't just wait for them to call us, we call them and just reassure them on, what the process is or whatever questions they have. additional living expense, all of those things that become very important at that point, you know? And I do know with the one, so I believe we had one total loss with Chris Shocker, and his story was that immediately we went out there and paid 75% of their additional living expense right to them, and you know, just that's what we do. And they were really surprised that we did something like that. Check. So we take care of our people. But great job holding down the fort down there. And let's just, you know, it's what, 97% contained, which is really nice.
Yeah, they took down all the evacs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. We drove through, so we were coming back from Washington yesterday, and so we drove down through Eugene and did that trek, you know, over and just to shoot up since we were down La Pine, and the Emigrant Fire. It was just we got to a portion of that, and it looked like fog. It was just so bad. I'm like, ugh, that's awful.
And it gets really bad when all settles in those mountain passes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it was bad, but. You know, yesterday I was thinking about it too because we had thunder and lightning, and I'm like, no, not anymore. You know, so. But all right, what other success have you guys had where you found traction in your business and want to share what's been going on?
Well, I've got my folders separated from all these little compartments, auto, and then I'm going to have all my forms, just organizing, like you told me at the very beginning. I mean, because I was organized chaos. And now it's just like trying to pinpoint it down on so many parts and having a digital copy and just some of the physical copy, but knowing where to have everything separated as opposed to like, where's this at? And then just spending hours on trying to find it again.
Very good. It feels good to be organized, for sure. Very good. And you get settled in your new office, so it's like you probably feel, all right, now I'm ready to go. Like, let's go. Not that you have a bit, Jimmy, but, you know, it's just different. You feel like you have your own space.
Yeah, I mean, that was an added, like, just, I mean, chaoticness to go from here to all these, I mean, from the office to there, and trying to have something where I could set up everything instead of trying to bring everything in. Now I have folders that I can actually leave and reference back, as opposed to having two monitors. Now it's all set up, and it's like, okay, it's a lot easier, and I don't have to take a suitcase or luggage into the country every time.
Yeah. Roll your bag in. Nancy, how about you?
Well, speaking of organization, I had signed up to do a training with Steve Sugai, and if any of you guys haven't had the opportunity to do that, he is so awesome. Like, he helps you with all of your questions, and we went over Planner, even though he's like, I really don't think it's going to help you until you have someone, but just showing me even things in Outlook, and just like asking him questions about where to put things and how, like, he made rules for me, and we were like sliding over, like helping me with how many emails, and we were on the phone for over 2 hours. He gave me so much of his time, and he clearly saw that I needed help. He was worried about me. He's like, okay, let's help you get some, because I was like, I'm planning to hire someone, but I want to have processes in place a little bit here, you know, not just having that chaos of like, only I know the chaos. So I've been so busy. Those things, just like your house, they fall through the cracks when you're more busy. And then now I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. So last week was about that for me. I needed to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
So who's Steve?
Steve Sugai. Oh. So Sugai. And he is like our Microsoft expert when it comes to Teams, when it comes to Planner, when it comes to any Microsoft product. Outlook, just what Nancy said. He's the guy who has all the answers. So, Nancy, it's encouraging that he spent so much time with you just to make sure that you were getting all that taken care of. And, you know, out of what we have, 1,000 agents over that, and he takes 2 hours of his time to work with you. So that just shows what type of person he is, and the company provided
He's
that
so
for you.
nice, and he's funny. He's like really funny about stuff, and I just liked his personality. I'm like, can I sign up again for some more stuff?
Well, and maybe it'd be helpful, maybe to have him come on for one of our trainings, like on a Monday in the morning. Just I don't. Maybe if we do one that's maybe a little bit extended, because he can be long-winded.
Yeah.
If I say, oh, you only have half an hour, that might not be enough. So
Yeah.
I wrote that down just as an idea. If you guys
Yeah, I
think
like
that would
that.
be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
how did that work? Is that something that Country provides, or do you sign up? Do you pay for them, or?
No, he wouldn't. He's a corporate employee that's in charge of those. I don't know what his specific title is,
Okay.
but he provides support for those products on the corporate side and with agency for those that need help with that. So no, you don't pay for it. And Nancy, what did you do? Just reach out and say, hey, can I schedule some time with you?
Yeah, on bookings, you can just go and
okay.
he asks you to do it on bookings. Although now he tells me I can just message him anytime.
You guys are BFFs now.
Yeah, he's really long-winded. So the two of us together, I had a lot of it went a little sideways multiple times, but then we were like, oh, I didn't even know what his role was either. I was like, who is this guy? But he said that he's retiring. Like he's on his way to retiring, so utilize him. I think it's going to be in the first quarter of next year. I think he keeps, but he's like technically like on trying to retire. He said. I think
they probably won't let him
go. Yes.
Yeah.
So he's worth it. If we could do a session, figure out what's the hot topic. Like he's just very good at explaining and patient and awesome. I give him a 5 stars, 5-star review for sure.
Very cool. Well, and I'll brag on Nancy a little bit. Nancy, I'll just say one thing, which she's been working really hard in the past 2 months on her life production, and she went from she added 4% to her grid this month. Let's just put it that way.
Congratulations.
So, great job.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Got raised. Woo!
Well, and it was. So this is the thing, if you were in our last week, if any of you were in our leadership growing leaders call, it talked about what you focus on expands, and taking action, not just, filling your mind with good stuff is great, but if you never take action, it doesn't even matter, that you have all this, you have a big head of knowledge and you never apply it. So it's stopping that get ready and actually taking action. And that's what Nancy did. I can remember a couple months ago, we were having a coaching session, and we're like, okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty on what you need in order to move on this grid. And she's put her mind to it, and she absolutely got it done. And that's where it's just another proof of, it's very doable for those that say I can't sell life insurance. I have a very veteran agent right now who's like, I can't get a life appointment to save my life. And I'm like, you're not trying hard enough. Like, that's just the fact. So when you put your mind to it, and you're just, you will do nothing. And really, it goes back to that 1 hour of life insurance a day. If you can commit to that, I promise you 2 months from now, your life production will be different than it is now. So great job, Nancy.
Thank you. Or I change something, like I'm hard on myself. I'm like, it's not working. What am I doing? Let's try something new. I'm big on kind of, but then like my shift, I just feel like right now I'm wearing too many hats, which goes back to the, like, you've got to have somebody to help you so you can do the things that you're good at. And I just keeps going through my mind, like that's going to be the piece, because now I'm like, oh, I was doing commercial. And then I told you Friday, that farm just was so time consuming. And then it's like, how can I do 1 hour a day of life? I didn't, to be honest, so then it's like, oh my gosh, how do you keep all those balls in the air? That's my thing. It's like the juggling clown of like, oops, drop that one this week, got 2 up, oops, drop that. Like, One day,
Same
you can
thing,
have it.
spinning plates. Like you got to run over here and spin this plate, and like you got that one going, and you're like, okay, which one is slowing down? I can't count the plate, and you go spin that one.
Yeah,
I've
I mean, I
always
can't
used that.
juggle real anyway,
No.
for real, so. But I try at work, so.
That's awesome.
Well,
Devin, how about you?
congratulations,
Some
Nancy.
success.
I feel like my commercial's going pretty strong. Signed up quite a few of those locations, and then I got a beauty salon that I'm quoting right now. I got an attorney's office that I'm quoting, and then I drove out one of the people who's another agent that I have a pretty good relationship with here in the Valley. Has a childhood friend out in Sisters that was getting a property at, I want to say it's Black Butte. Wildfire score is really high, and I drove out there this weekend to do an inspect and take a look at it, take my measurements and take photos, and then drove back on Sunday. And then, more and more appointments, more and more cars. I got 2 scheduled for today. I had 4 last week, so just trying to make sure I'm keeping up with the quotes people are expecting of me, but still. And then I had another business location, but also trying to meet with my current clients and cross-sell and do that. It's been pretty busy.
Very good. Well,
And-
I know.
For anybody who's doing a quote out in Black Butte Ranch, like if my schedule's been kind of crazy, so I don't want to make any promises I can't keep, but give me a ring if you need photos out there, because there's a good chance I'll be going out there sometime in the next couple of days to do photos myself. So I'd be happy to snag some defensible space for somebody to, if you didn't want to drive your
Yeah, one of the things
all that to
sorry, my
Sisters.
computer's acting weird. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things that I did over there, and I don't know if you've submitted them, is I took photos of the fire hydrants and of the fire station there. And then I got a letter from Black Butte. Fire department, but I got a letter from them, and I don't know if that's going to push the needle with underwriting at all. Like, hey, I know it's a 96, I know there's a little bit of shrubbery, but here's a letter from Black Butte, here's a fire hydrant right outside the house, and then they literally have their own fire department within like a mile and a half. So
It'll do a little bit, but the way underwriting looks at it is wildfire score is entirely separate to local fire departments, because that's what fire protection class is. Since local fire departments typically aren't going to be the ones to respond to a wildfire, they'll respond to house fires. And so that's kind of why they introduced the wildfire score a few years ago, is to differentiate the different types of fire risk from standard house fire risk, which is your fire protection class 1 through 10, and your wildfire risk. And it's really frustrating because I've had a client, this was years ago, back when they were being really hard on it when I was an assistant at my dad's office. Like, they've chilled out a little bit. But I had a client who the fire hydrant was in front of their property. Like, they were the like it was actually on their property in that, like, the ditch area that's kind of the, is this the city's, is this yours? And we couldn't get it written because it was a wildfire 100, and we're like, there's a fire hydrant right here. So, like, they take it into account, like, a little bit, but that's more for the protection class, unfortunately, which is really frustrating. What they care about more for the wildfire is just how many stinking trees are right up next to the building, and that's about all they really take into strong consideration with wildfire.
Yeah,
Well,
gotta meet those guidelines. I just did 2 that were 100s. One was a 96. I think I did 6 of them, and I've got 4 approved, 2 declined. So
That's pretty good.
and it has to meet. It's got to meet the guide. Like, the trees can't be in big clusters. You've got to have that 10-foot spacing. You've got to have the limbs. And then some of those ones, when they just have a lot of, like, stuff on the ground, pine needles, all that, or it's on the roof, they hate that. They're like,
I had a client who
this
just
is
sweep
fine.
their roof. Yeah.
Yep. I know. I had this old guy, he's like, I can't get up there on a ladder. And I was like, no, I'm not asking you to get up on the roof, I promise. Promise you that. Well, let's just figure out something, because he's got about a month to work on it, so he's going to have someone out to, like, get up there with a blower and blow those pine needles off. And you just can't can't have them overhanging. All of the ones, you know, every time if I get one that declines, I always ask why. What could we do? Especially if they own it. Not on new purchases as much, but if they own it and we've got a little time, like, can they get an arborist out there? Show me where your concerns are. And I've gotten those approved. Then I resubmit photos. So don't ever take no for an answer. Always ask. You know, these people have to get insurance, so they're going to have to spend some money.
And it's kind of underwriter by underwriter, but lots of times, especially if it's in a non-renewal situation where they're like, I've been looking for weeks and my insurance comes up in 7 days. Sometimes if they need to remove trees to get the insurance, if the underwriter's feeling nice that day and it's a nice property and everything else on the quote looks good, sometimes you can get them to let you do the tree removal as part of the discovery period. That first 45 days where you can, they'll let you bind the policy and say, if these trees aren't removed by the end of discovery, then we're canceling the policy. But it gives you a little bit of buffer so that the client can maintain continuous coverage and they don't have a gap in coverage. So if you're having somebody who's coming up saying, I'm being non-renewed, that's sometimes you can get that through the underwriters.
Or like ours, the protection class will come in as a 10. But then, like, if they have a subscription to Rural Metro and you say yes, and you can show that, and then it goes to a 4. So I don't know if Blackview's like that or if that's just a 10, you know, protection class 10. But you always got to ask about that because that can bring the premium down as well.
Blackview's usually a 3, actually, because of that fire department they have, like Devin was talking about.
Yeah. If it's there's not any fire department to respond, it's a 10, and good luck. Don't waste your time on those, you know?
Yeah, if they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's it, so when you're, Devin, when you're talking about the fire hydrant, and, you know, showing that it's right in front of the house and the fire, I don't know what training or who brought it up recently, but it was all of that, like, changed a few years back because there was an agent who had a plastic fire hydrant that he would set and take pictures. What was that? Like, I forget where I heard that from. But it was crazy. I mean, come on. That is just so, you know, we all suffer and they changed the rules because of this clown that was using a plastic fire hydrant. What in the world?
But the computer knows it pulls it in. It knows if there's, you know, like if it's over 5 miles, usually it'll put it over 5.
That must have been like pre-drone cover, you know, footage or something. I don't know. But I heard that. I was like, who thinks of that? Seriously.
Guy's a genius. Is he running this company now? Guy's a genius.
And the other thing, I've been submitting them just like, it was just a fluke, but maybe this is real. Like, I worked a couple weekends when I would submit it Sunday night. Every time Monday morning, it would get approved. The underwriters are fresh, and they're 3 hours ahead, and I swear, every time, I'm like, I'm just going to start doing these Sunday night because I get lucky. And they said yes on one that I did not think would get approved, and they said yes. So there's a couple good, really good underwriters out there that are pretty nice Monday mornings.
Nice.
Well, very good. Well, I see that our guest speaker popped on, Heather. And so before I introduce her, let me just let me give you, and you know, this is for your benefit too, Heather. We always go over our Maxwell Daily Reader for the day. And I didn't start out with that. And there are times where I forget too, but I saw it there, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to read. Today's really short. So today's is once connected, move forward. If you want to influence others and you desire to get them moving in the right direction, you must connect with them before you try to take them anywhere. Attempting to do it before connecting is a common mistake of inexperienced leaders. Trying to move others before going through the connection process with them can lead to mistrust, resistance, and strained relationships. Always remember that you have to share yourself before you try to share the journey. As someone once observed, leadership is cultivating in people today a future willingness on their part to follow you into something new for the sake of something great. Connection creates that willingness. So it's from the book, Becoming a Person of Influence. So the quote is, identify someone on your team with whom you need to connect. So you could take that, identify someone in your sphere of influence that you need to connect with, that maybe you're trying to move the needle with as far as creating that relationship, making sure you're connecting with them. Anyway, so that's today's. I mean, this one definitely resonates just with, you know, even on my part, coming out with a new team. Like, you never meet, and I hope none of you felt when I first met with you that it was, all right, here's what you need to do. Like the very first meeting, it was, tell me about yourself, you know. So it's always creating that connection. Unless you ask and you need some help. But my intention was to connect with y'all because that creates trust, and it creates a relationship where they can trust what you're telling them. So, all right. So that's today's. Well, I'd like to introduce you all to Heather Rosheim. So she is. Let's go all the way back, Heather, to where our relationship first started. All right. So that would have been December of 2021. Where I walk into what was Denver North. So this was the agency I first took over in Colorado, and Heather was my assistant. So she was my AOA. And so I had the privilege of working with her for, what was it, a year and a half? 2.5 years?
About a year and a half, almost two.
Yeah. So, I recognized immediately that I was so lucky to have her in that role, yet she did not belong in that role, right? So really was working, she may not have known it, but was really working with her in the development piece, just kind of behind the scenes, getting her ready and, you know, prompting her a little bit with, hey, if I get booked, you know, I think you'd be a great agent, you know, all of those things. So a book became available, and I gave her no choice. I was like, nope, you are. I don't care if you think you can do it or not. You are taking this book of business. So, and again, it's one of those things where, as a leader, man, I hated to lose her because she was a fantastic assistant to me, but I know she deserved more than that, and she definitely had, from day one, proven with her service to her clients, her communication with her clients, the way that she builds her relationships with her COIs, the marketing piece. She's fantastic at the marketing piece, running events, doing all of those things. And her first full year of being an agent, she earned her first All-American. So that was last year. And had an amazing trip to Greece, which, you know, how could you replace that as your first All-American? I don't know. But I'm just so proud of her and so proud of the work that she's doing. And I'm telling you right now, Northern Colorado is not an easy space to build a business whatsoever. Even if you already have book, you got to go out there and grow. And she's been doing that to the best of her ability. And I think the perseverance in that space and I'm just saying in that region, in that district, the perseverance through it will pay off. And it's not easy. It's not easy. So anyway, with that, this is Heather. Do you guys want to just go around real quick and just introduce yourself, where your office is located, and then how long you've been with Country, just so she has an idea of where you guys are. Devin, we'll start with you.
I'm sorry. Just where I'm at when I started?
Yep.
I'm in Southern Oregon, Medford, and I'll say 20 months in.
Okay. Yeah. Nancy?
I'm also in Southern Oregon, Central Point, and I will have been with the company 2 years, November 1st of this year. Awesome.
Jeremy?
I am in Sisters, Oregon, in Central Oregon, and I am kind of going on 2 years with the company. I was an assistant for a few years, took a couple years away from the company, and now I'm back as an agent, and this is going on month 4 now, so, yeah.
And Jeremy, so let me just say this real quick while we're here. both Jeremy and Jimmy just qualified for country club. So they met there, and I did promote that Jeremy won first place, and then all of a sudden I was like, what is this, a hanging Chad or something? All of a sudden the preliminary results come out and some other girl in Olympia overtook his spot, and I'm like, how did that happen? So I'm still investigating Jeremy. I'm investigating that because
Yeah.
I'm
Sounds
not
like you
sure
got
where
robbed.
that came from.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
I'm like, if it was there for multiple days, those results, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, preliminary results, this girl like gets, and this was 80 fifth, right? So I'm like, what in the world? Anyway, so yes, Heather, Jeremy just experienced out in Sisters that we had a big fire out there.
Oh boy.
And we had all sorts of level 3 evacuations go now. I mean, it came within 2 miles of Sisters proper, right? But there's only, and this is the great thing too, is out of I mean, it grew thousands of acres overnight a couple Friday nights ago, and we were all panicking. Oh no, slow down.
Yeah.
You know, we lost one
18,000 at
structure.
night.
Yeah, overnight. So we lost one home, and it was Chris Shocker's, but not his house, but his client. But hundreds of homes were saved because of the defensible space that we have done with our client. All of that. So it's a huge example. It's a huge testimony to the work that we're doing currently. The things we have in place is working. We don't need to just say no. We just need to make sure, and the firefighters said the same thing, we were able to save multiple houses because we had defensible space to work with. So, yeah, it's a testimony to it. Jimmy.
So, Jimmy from Bend, Oregon, and been with Country for about 3 months or 4 months. In the insurance world, off and on for about 2 years, but really, I would say 4 months of solid learning and growing.
You get thrown to the fire real quick. No pun intended with that one. The last
Yes.
story.
Yeah. So Heather, we want to hear from you. We just want to hear like what right now. Okay, you're just a month from Nancy and Devin. Starting really, you have a month on them. But what would you point to is some of the things that have made you the most successful in maybe just gaining that traction, working with your book, like whatever angle you want to take on where are you finding success right now?
The biggest thing is contacting those clients like right when you come in. I don't know if you all got some book, a little book, whatever, contacting those people right away, letting them know that you are their new agent, reviewing all their policies, cross-selling. That was my big thing. We went into conversion. As soon as I started, we started to convert. So my big thing was getting my conversion list cleaned up and moving all those toys off.
We just finished. We just finished our
that
home.
was like our big thing.
We're in
kinda
auto
gave me
now.
that push. Okay, so that
Yeah.
gave me the push to kind of get to Country Club and try and get all those PIVs and VIVs as soon as possible. So that was a big thing. The life insurance space, I didn't know much of it going in because as an AOA, I only needed my PNC licensing. So I was really kind of on the fence about learning about life insurance, and that's kind of where I pushed just because I saw where the environment in Colorado is going with our rates and auto rates. Tried to get that part more of like a specialty, especially with families and protecting their kids. Those little policies add up so quick. And then, I mean, that's my big thing was with the life insurance and then the commercial space. The PNC, the home and auto, that's the easy grab. That's the easy one. We talk about that in day out, but a lot of people don't know about the life insurance and the commercial spot. So that's where I've been trying to focus, especially this year, being so hard in Colorado with auto and home and that part. But I've been really working with small businesses in my downtown area and being a resource for them and getting into the chamber and working with the chamber groups and getting into the town and sitting on their small business council with other small businesses on how I can support their business. It's not really about me, it's about them. And that's kind of where I've been more advocate for, and that's why people have been referring me a little bit more, is because I've been voicing for them, not for me.
So talk about a little bit about the different relationships with, like you just mentioned, the chamber, and so some of the councils, like what are some of the specifically, who are you working with, and then how do you maybe give us some tips on what was successful in you creating those relationships with realtors and mortgage lenders and so on and so forth that are referring business to you?
Sure. So I'm on 2 different chambers. I'm in the Superior Chamber, which is actually where our Marshall Fire happened. So I've been really diving into that one, and I'm in our Tri-Town area. We're about 25 minutes north of downtown Denver. So we've got more. It's not rural, but we're more small town feel up here. So we've got 3 cities that belong to our Tri-Town Carbon Valley Chamber, and I try and do the small business connectors groups. Do one-on-one lunches with them or coffee appointments. I work with them with their golf tournaments, just more as brand exposure. And then the big thing is with our small business downtown partnership. I've got about 4 or 5 clients from that group, and I just continually use them for all of my events. I promote them at my events. I use them for food trucks. I use them for gift cards. I use them for my floral events. So I try and expose them as much as I can to my clients, so then they start using those people in their everyday dealings, and just being a resource for everyone in the community. The big thing is like golf tournaments, right? Yeah. It's summer. That's our big thing, is golf tournaments. Trying to do more thank you events here with some local mortgage lenders and realtors, doing a movie premiere. That's what I'm really working on right now, so then we can create that partnership together. So it's for their clients and my clients, and kind of grow that relationship that way.
So do you guys have any questions on that movie premiere, what that is at all? You guys know?
What is it?
So Heather, you explain.
Yeah, so we work co-op things that we can use through corporate. I partner with either a realtor or a mortgage lender to do a movie premiere at a smaller theater. The bigger theaters, of course, are a little bit more expensive. So then we share the cost. We rent out an entire theater. We get some swag for each of us. It's about 200 tickets we get. So we split it between the 2 of us, and they get to bring their family, their friends, and then we just promote each other while we're there. And corporate will do the co-op, so that's a really nice benefit for that.
So you reach out to maybe some current clients, maybe some current COIs, and you're inviting them and their family to this movie premiere. Do you focus it on a certain type of movie that's coming out?
We try and find the ones that are going to have the most appeal. Typically, those are those kids movies that are coming up, especially just the young family, since that's my background. I have a young-ish family, so I kind of want to stick to what I know. If it's more like, there's some like Marvel movies coming out, maybe we'll get into that, but right now we've been focusing on those family, because you don't want to always have to find a babysitter. So I'd like to bring the families in and make sure that they get a night out and know that we're there to actually protect them.
Oh, that's good. I know other agents in the Northern Colorado agency have done that too, and really just, the person walks in, they get in for free. They walk in, you have a table welcoming them, sign in, and then sometimes they offer, hey, here's a $10 gift card to the, go get some popcorn and, enjoy the movie. So it's a great experience. So, you're creating that fun experience for them and their family. And, it just, whether they're a current client or they're, a client brought them, it's great to make that connection and, on that marketing side. So what questions do you guys have for Heather? Anything? She's an open book. Yep, when it comes to what she's doing.
And I'll be very honest with you. If you have questions about the hard stuff, I'll tell you right now, now. It is not easy. It's been, last year was great. My thing was, I'm going to go as hard as I can, as fast as I can to get to utilize that book that's not going to count against me for a year to load up my PIF and VIF, because this year it has literally been the exact opposite. So I'm fighting to get that PIF and VIF back up, but I think there's some traction that's happening with people here in knowing that they need to be valued a little bit more and not just be the cheapest company and get the cheapest premium. But I think country, I'm seeing some changes out here with some rate corrections on auto, and I heard some other rumblings with some home stuff. I'm not positive, but I know that there's some things in the works that I can see that's going to be a positive for us going forward.
Jimmy.
So when you said you had a book of business, you contact them. What was your methods and your how to? Like, did you contact them via phone, email, text, and how many times?
So I set up a campaign in Leads and Activities, letting them know I was their new agent. That was the first line of business, because the letter that goes out from corporate was about 3 months late. So I saw in the contact history, that letter does not go out until it was about 3 months after the agent change. Because a lot of people are like, I have no idea who my agent is. We don't know what's going on. Why are you? Who are you? So I had a list at the time. I had an assistant. So I had her start calling, just, 10 a day. Just call, reach out. And if we didn't get to them to schedule a review, I at least send an email. So we probably had about 20 to 25% actually respond and get in. It was just constant contact, at least once a week, trying to get to them with either a voicemail, so hey, at least they know I'm trying. If they don't want to talk to me, that's on them. We'll log it in the system just to make sure we're covering ourselves in that instance. But it's just that repetitiveness. We have to keep in front of them. Typically now I have B-File doing it for me on scheduling my reviews instead of the marketing call center. I get a little bit more traction with them because they're super persistent. So I don't know if that's a benefit to you guys yet, if you're ready to use it, but right now I'm utilizing them as my part-time assistant, and as I'm working on hiring a new one.
How many assistants do you have right now?
I have 0 right now.
0. Okay.
I have lived by, I had to have an assistant when I got hired, and I thought I was getting lucky with getting a assistant that needed to pick up some more hours. Hiring people is probably the hardest part of this business, I'm finding, because you think that they're great and then something happens down the line. So I'm good on the slow to hire right now. So I'm working on doing everything myself, but I've got a good lead on someone that has insurance experience. She is right now a stay-at-home mom. She's going to come on and work for me part-time while our kids are at school, and she's not previously a country employee. So I've gone through 2 assistants that were with country, and as Christine knows, there's some trouble with that
Baggage.
So
Sometimes
yes,
there's baggage.
starting fresh is good. So
Okay.
right now it's just all me.
And what were the hours that you had your part-time?
How long have you been doing?
I'll go Jimmy's first. I
Yes.
had her from 9 to 3. I was doing 6 hours a day with her.
How long have you been doing B-Files for? How many months have you been?
I started
Utilizing
in
that.
March. In March, and there is some heartburn with that. I've noticed, I think it's scripting in my caller. So I actually have Courtney Luttrell. He is helping me out with a couple of pulling some conversations that were said to some clients because they were setting life appointments for me. These people are 65. They're like, why are you calling me? Like, why? They just said, okay, fine, we'll meet with you. So we're working out some communication and some scripting things that need to be done so that they're, giving that ROI back on what I'm paying for them, every month. So at least corporate is helping me identify the issues because they want us to use them and they want to make sure it's successful for everyone. So it's nice that they've been helping me out with that.
And they are pretty responsive as far as
They
B-Files.
They're very responsive.
if you're not getting the results that you feel you should be getting that are realistic, right? You can ask them, hey, I need you to review this caller. It's usually the caller. right?
Yep.
And they're hiring, you know, we had him out at our last in-person meeting for our agency, and it was, he's like, hey, we hire hundreds of callers. So if we get one that's not working out, gosh, we gotta replace. So they're pretty good at working with you guys.
Yeah. And the person that we have will reach out and do separate training sessions regarding the risk assessment, you know, trying to get that stuff built in. So right now I have the risk assessment calculator built into my bookings. So for reviews, it goes out 2 days before their appointment. It goes out the first day when they book it in that first email, and then it goes out as a reminder, so that I've had my very first one that actually filled it out. Like retirement stuff, Congressman said, so that's great. But now that I have it and it's built in, I'm going to try and use that in my marketing for just in my email for doing quotes when we start the relationship right at the beginning.
Jimmy.
So I got a lot of questions now. They're coming down the
Sure.
pipeline. So hiring assistants, licensed or non-licensed? What was the pay scale? And did you offer any bonus?
So when I had them, they were already licensed in P&Z.
Okay.
I started them at, my first one was only $17.50 an hour, and you get what you pay for. So I bumped my next one up to $20 an hour, which is pretty good, and that going rate for part-time. I did have, when they were in their contract for their employment agreement, if they were to cross-sell, bring in an auto policy or a home policy on their own, that I would give them like a $25 or $50 bonus, depending on, you know, if it was auto, 25, it was 50, if it was home. If they got me a life, I would do 50. If they were going to bring in a brand new referral to me, then I would give them a little bit more. That never happened. They were more on the service end of it. So now I'm more focused on bringing someone that's going to help me grow, so that's going to help them grow in return on the income side. I'm still trying to build out how that looks, especially when I find the right fit with that person. But I started my part-time at $20 an hour. And then if I made All-American, it would be a $750 bonus. If I did All-Star, it was a $500 bonus. And then, you know, around bonuses, you know, just a little thank you.
What other questions?
What kind of marketing do you guys do? Are you guys involved in networking and chamber memberships? We've got like a local realtor group here that I'm a part of. It's a realtor association, and it's about 80% industry partners and about 20% realtors that actually go to this networking marketing meeting. I get much more networking and referrals from the industry partners. The roofers, the other insurance professionals in the group have actually been a really good resource for me back and forth, especially with fire scores. So
What's that group called, Heather?
Called Denver Metro Association of Realtors. So I'm sure Oregon has their own, you know, specific like regional groups. I found a lot of benefit from that group.
Yeah, Heather actually took the place of the other gal who she took her book. She was involved in that, so she just stepped right into that role. And I would say, just from from leading Heather, that was imperative in her. Like it really helped in her success and getting connected with industry partners. So maybe there is in your area, like do some research on Association of Realtors or Association of Mortgage Lenders or whatever that looks like, and see if there is one of those in your area. It was very successful for both her and the gal that was ahead of her.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess another thing, I went to Peak back in April, and I absolutely loved it. So if you guys get a chance, go. It was amazing.
raise your hand if you're going to Peak in September.
You're gonna love it. It was great. The trainers are amazing. It's fantastic. It's beneficial for older reps, and we had a running contest from our Peak group for life. So we put for life, it was July and August and then September. So we all put $50 in the pot, and Tim Harris is all on board. He gets the emails, he sends shout outs to everybody. So it's kind of just like, keeping that group. We want to get everyone who is at peak to get to All-American. So it's just
That's
nice.
awesome.
It's fun. So you'll get to meet a lot of fun people and gain a lot of knowledge from that meeting.
All right. Well, any other questions for Heather? I know we have like 2 minutes left.
Thank you,
You guys
Heather.
good?
Appreciate
Yeah,
your
you're
insight.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I guess the other thing I would end with is you guys are all in the same boat. You utilize each other. I do events with other country reps all the time, and it's nice. So it's like a weird, you think they are your competition, but they're not. They're there to help you out. So utilize them.
So when you do events with other reps, how does that work? Like you get one and then the next one, you guys just go in there,
Yeah.
or is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we just split them evenly. Or if
Gotcha.
you're working with a financial advisor, you go in as the insurance agent, and they go in as the financial rep, and you split it that way. So
Gotcha.
thanks, Devin.
Yeah, I would say as far as what Heather was talking about on partnering, it's the open lines of communication and setting that up an agreement ahead of time is super
Gotcha.
important, and just making sure that you both are like, okay, here's how we will handle this. And I found the most hiccups come when that communication hasn't happened. So,
Gotcha.
but all right. Well, Heather, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
Above all, I just wanted my agents here to meet you, because I think you're fantastic, and I miss you tremendously.
I miss you. You guys are so lucky. Seriously, you guys are incredibly lucky. So
We
miss
know.
Christine
We know.
so much. I was like, okay, I'm gonna move to Oregon now. Thanks.
I know.
Yeah.
It was out of all of Heather, don't repeat this, but out of all of my agents that I had to say goodbye to, it was the hardest to say goodbye to Heather. So, yeah.
So how long did
And I'm
Heather
still-
work with you before she took over her?
A year and a half.
A year and a
About
half.
a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started with Country as an AOA in 2018.
I got to bounce
So-
everybody by.
Bye.
Bye,
So I saw a lot. I saw 4 reps quit within my first month of being an AOA. So I was like, nope, I knew what not to do. So
Yeah.
if you're in your office all the time, they're not gonna go anywhere.
Survive. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Pick your office days, get in, do your office stuff, but get out in the community, meet
Yeah.
people.
Mm.
And I still need to do it better. Consistency is the best. You fall off, you get into a routine
Yeah.
and then you fall off a bit, but getting right back on. So, yeah.
I like your office. You sure
Thanks.
I
have
know.
cool dark
Thank
walls.
you. Yeah, it's like you can kind of tell it's green,
I love
like
the
a
green.
sagey green. Yeah,
Her
Yeah.
office is amazing.
it's homey. It's homey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, real quick, Heather, describe like where your office is and who are the other people in your building and your opportunity in that.
So I am in downtown Frederick, which is where I live. So I'm in like our little downtown area, and it's kind of up and coming. They're trying to, give it a facelift and bring in some more energy to the group. So the building I'm in, the family that has been in this community for years owns this building, and they want to make it a center for entrepreneurship. So I'm in here. I have the chamber is in here right across from me. I have an architecture group. I've got a marketing co-op group, and then they're trying to redo the space to bring in other entrepreneurs in here. So kind of like an office co-share workspace. So they can bring other industries, and then we can all work together. I mean, their goal is to refer the people that are inside their buildings to each other or to their clients that they're working with. So they've just got a really good vibe and pulse on the community, and they're kind of involved in everything. So I thought it was a good fit for me.
Yeah.
And the space that they're trying to create with outdoor, like they're going to put a smoker pit in, they're going to put a wood fire pizza oven in, because they want to bring people here to do events and open houses and networking things, and they're going to have a classroom here. So the vibe is really fun, especially with the chamber being involved in the building too.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I know.
it's cool.
It is.
Very
It's a
unique
great spot.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the first one to hop on it because there's a little shop across the street who is part of that family that owns kind of the area, and I just chatted with her about, you know, hey, what do you know going on in the area? And he's like, well, this is getting rebuilt right now, remodeled. I'll get you in touch with them. And I was the first person that hopped in. So then it kind of just
Built up
created
around
some
her.
more
And then grow
synergy.
from there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you
time.
too.
Awesome.
Yeah, enjoy
Yes.
Peak.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah.